right place because today you're going to discover SKEMA Business School Global BBA, a BBA with 13 specializations which can be chosen and many double degrees available. During this live session, you will get a lot of information about the Global BBA and about the school. And today I'm very pleased to welcome Yann Grasselli, the head of the Global BBA. Hi, Yann.
Hello.
Thanks a lot to be there with us. Just in front of you is Aneska Freyer. Hi.
Hello.
You're a student of the program in third year of the Global BBA.
Yes.
And we're also in Zoom with Anyuvi Gnasunu, admission officer. Hi, Anyuvi.
Hello, everyone.
Thanks a lot to be there with us. You're going to tell us a lot of tips in a few minutes to have a perfect admission at SKEMA. And we are also with Zeynep Ben Krayem, Global BBA alumni. Hi, Zeynep. Zeynep.
Hello.
Sorry, it's Zeynep.
Yes, Zainab.
Sorry. Thanks a lot to be there with us, and you're going to share your experience. You can start asking all your questions in the chat section, and we will answer all of your questions. But let's begin with a quick video to discover the Global BBA, and we will be back just after that. So Yann, I think we already have a lot of information thanks to this video, but we will go further. Can you first introduce SKEMA Business School and tell us some words about the school?
Yes, sure. So SKEMA Business School is one of the top leading business schools in France with know-how, I will say, in on the international aspects. Okay, as you have seen, for example, in the video, the strategy of the school is really to develop international campuses in well-known located places with a powerful, I will say, interest for business. And if you look about the location of our international campuses, but also in France, you will see that each time they are located inside or very close to technopoles. Okay, so that's the main part, and all this structure of campuses is here to help the students to take the mobility and to guarantee also the mobility of students in the location where they want to go, basically.
And can you say a few words about the Global BBA in particular?
Yes, so the Global BBA is one of the two undergraduate program of SKEMA Business School. The BBA is a bachelor program, basically, because it's on the same structure, you know, as a North American bachelor degree. So it's an international program in terms of the structure, in terms also of the language that we already saw in the video, and also in the way students are moving or taking mobility during the 4-year degree, okay? And the structure is the international standard. So basically it's well known for all countries, all job markets and stuff like that. So we are really selling, I will say, the international aspects through this program.
And you have triple accreditations, I
Yeah,
see?
the school has the triple accreditation, which is also a guarantee of quality, EQUIS based on research quickly, ICASB for pedagogy, and EMBA, which is of course for the MBA program.
We will talk in a few seconds about the program of the BBA, but Aneska, I have a question for you. Can you introduce yourself, tell us where you're from and why you chose the BBA?
Okay, so I'm Aneska Freuer. I am from South Africa, from the Eastern Cape, and I have family members who live in the south of France. And when I was looking for what to do after my matric year, my grade 12 year, these family members invited me to come join them here in the not here, but in the south of France. And so I knew exactly what area I was going to go to, but then I started doing research into available schools and things that I could do for higher education. And based on their environmental management program, I joined SKEMA because I heard good things about it. So yeah, I'm currently doing a specialization in environmental management for the Global BBA, and I am in my third year.
Okay, and where is or are the campus located when you want to study in the Global BBA, Jan?
So the Global BBA, now you know why we are naming this program global, because the program is now not only delivered in France, but it's delivered also in the same way in the US. So on our Raleigh campus in Brazil, Belo Horizonte, and more recently also in China. And we will have from next September intake 2 campuses in France, Sophia Antipolis in the south where Aneska is, and Lille also in the north of France. So basically you will have, let's say 4, if we take China out for now, you have 4 ways to start this program, whatever the country you would like to go.
And how long does the BBA last?
The international standard is 4-year program, so
Okay.
it's a 4-year program, like all the bachelor program you will find in North America.
Zeynep, same questions than Aneska. Can you introduce yourself and tell us why you chose the BBA?
Yes, so my name is Zana. I'm from Tunisia. I was a student in BBA from 2016 to 2020. My major was sustainable development and social responsibility. I chose SKEMA for several ideas. First, it was because of the international program. Also because of the courses that I wanted to take. I really wanted to study sustainable development, and SKEMA had exactly what I was looking for. Then it was also the international aspect and the way of the international students from many different countries, different diverse cultures. Also because of the location, I really wanted a place with a lot of sunshine, the sea, so it held everything that I was looking for, so I didn't hesitate to go to SKEMA BBA.
Okay, thanks a lot. Let's talk now more about the courses. Jan, what is the program of the Global BBA at SKEMA?
So, of course, I'm not going to go too much into details because we have a wide course catalog, but just let me give you some tips and some information and general information, okay? So in an international program, you have mainly 4 main categories of courses, okay? You have general education. General education is very important for all North American universities. The second thing is, then of course, we're in a business school, so we are teaching all the management fundamentals to our students, accounting, marketing, economy and stuff like that. And then we have courses which are more related to the global world. So when students are taking international mobility, when they're going to China or to the US, of course, you're not doing the business in the same way when you are in these countries. And so we are exposing our students to these cultural difference, okay? And then because you said that at the very beginning of this meeting, we are offering 13 different specializations, like I will say in North America, because keep in mind that this 4-year program, it's the first level of university that students are getting, and then they're joining the job market. So then we have a bunch of courses related to more marketing or environmental management, as Aneska is doing. So it's up to the students to choose which orientation he would like to take during the studies.
And when do you have to make this decision? At the beginning or during the
No. It's too difficult for first-year students to know what to do 4 years from now. Okay, so the only thing we are asking new students basically is to choose the domain of expertise they would like to do. So basically management, because I'm really interested in management in general. Okay, double skills where I want to mix science and management, and the new one we are starting in September about which is around artificial intelligence. And then we are guiding the students through the first year of studies, and it's at the end of the first year of studies that students are making choices in terms of duration of mobility and also in terms of specialization, because we are teaching them, we are guiding them, and they will choose knowing what they are going to study later on.
Aneska, you already had the opportunity to study a lot of different classes. What was your favorite course during your studies?
Well, I really liked biology. Like the professor said, I have 50% business classes and 50% science. That's how it basically worked out. So I liked, so far, biology the best. And then also 2 years, they offer 2 years of English. Because I'm practically native in English, I could take a higher degree of English classes. And the second one was where we had a book to read and we discussed that. That was also I really like that. And
you decided to have a specialization in the environmental questions. Why did you make this decision?
Well, as I said in the interview to one of the interviewers, it's actually quite embarrassing to be part of a species that's like slowly killing itself. So I wanted to be able to do something about that, maybe. And so I've always been really interested in it, and the mixture of business and science, something to do with that, like in that direction, seemed really, really interesting to me. So that's why I still chose that.
Let's talk now, Jan, about the pedagogy. How is the school's pedagogy organized? Is there a lot of theory, a lot of practice? How does it work?
Well, let's say that it's a mixture of both of them. Okay, of course, when you're starting the degree in your 1 year 2, you have to know the basis. Okay, so you have to go, I will say, into the deep situation and deep learning of the courses, economy, accounting, and stuff like that. And then the more you're going on with a year of studies, the more you're practicing and you're going for case studies, or let's say even real projects. For example, we have every semester now, we have students conducting international project with international companies, which is done in relation with Moscow University. So it's really to give a taste of international, to the students. So we are ranging from, let's say theory and general education up to more advanced classes and practical situation.
We are going to watch a little video to discover the different campuses, because you said there are a lot of campuses where you can study the Global BBA. So let's see what the campuses are and where they are located.
Tranquille.
We're talking about the Global BBA of SKEMA Business School. If you have questions, feel free to ask them on the chat section. We will answer them during the entire live session. Zainab, I had a question for you. We were talking about the class, about the different courses, and I was asking myself, now that you're graduating from the BBA, how do the different courses you had help you in your professional life? What is the link between the class you followed and what you live now as a professional worker?
Well, I'd like to explain my situation right now. I had a 6-month internship after I finished my BBA. So I finished my internship in December, and right now I'm taking online independently. That's related to the UN. I took these courses because of some courses that I had in SKEMA. One of them was environmental economics and policy. I'm really like that course, and I wanted to deepen my knowledge in that course. So I took some courses that were related to the subject, and now I'm preparing myself for masters abroad related to my previous major to continue in that path that I chose in SKEMA.
Jan, do you help the student to find the right classes, the right specialization for them? How do you help them?
When a new student is joining the program, the student is given to an academic advisor. Okay, so it's a teacher of the program who's going to track the students over the 4 year of the degree. Okay, so basically the student is supposed to meet with his or her advisor minimum of 3 times per semester, more if needed, and it's the advisor which is going to really help the students in discussing about the choice of a specialization, for example, but then the curriculum is really flexible and there's a lot of electives that chosen can select, and this choice is made with the academic advisor. It's the person, it's the key contact of the students in the program. Okay.
And how were the courses organized during the are the courses organized, because we're still in this situation during the pandemic? How does it work?
So when there is no lockdown, where we have to go online as everyone, we are on the hybrid format, which means that half of the class is on site, half of the class is connected online on Teams, and then there is a swap every week about these groups, these subgroups, let's say, and we have no choice because, of course, we have to stick to the French Ministry recommendation and regulation also.
Let's talk now about the admission with you and UV. First question, really easy. What are the different qualifications required to apply? We just have a little sound problem. I think we will hear you in a few seconds. Are you sure your mic is open?
Sorry.
No problem, no problem.
Open my mic. Okay, so hello everyone. Regarding the admission process, the prerequisite will depend on where you are right now. For example, if you are still on high school, you will have to provide us with your transcripts. Of course, you will have to validate your A-level or IB diploma or French baccalaureate if you're actually preparing it to join the program. That's the main prerequisite.
And what are the different steps? For instance, if you're in high school, how does it work? You will have to apply, and then you will have interviews, I think?
Yes. So it is a 2 or 4 steps application process. You have a first step that is the document that you have to provide us. So your application will be reviewed by Jan's team, actually. And then after that, you will have an interview with Jan or another manager of the BBA program. So on the selection process, make sure to provide us with your transcripts, a CV, not a recommendation, but a portfolio that in which you will explain us all your extracurricular activity.
What can it be in the portfolio, for instance, photo of yourself practicing theater, I don't know, some stuff like that?
Exactly. In the portfolio document that we are asking is aimed to show us that you can do some more things except from going to school. It's to tell us about your hobbies, what you're doing, if you're involved in an association, you're playing basketball. Show us that you are open-minded.
Jan, what are you looking for in the curriculum of the student? Like, what do you watch really precisely? Is this like, for instance, a grade oriented, or is this personal, like people oriented application for process? How does it work?
I think we are looking for profiles. That's the most important thing. Of course, we are looking for grades, okay? But we also know that depending on the country, depending also on the high school, I would say, grades are just not the absolute and best parameter to evaluate an applicant, okay? The portfolio, as Anuvi said, is very important for us because we will see also what the student is able to do outside of the academics, okay? And then what's for an international student, what is the key at the end is really the interview, okay? Because it's really there where we are discovering, first of all, for the first time, the candidate, where we are able to discuss. Generally, we are trying to speak about, their professional project, but we know that it's not really mandatory because this will change. When you are 17, 18 or 19 years old, you may have ideas, okay? But everything will evolve, and generally after a few months or sometimes few weeks, you already change your mind because you have seen something different that you never thought before.
We have a question from Noor, maybe for you, Anuvi. Noor is already studying in business school, and she's asking if she can join the curriculum, for instance, during the second year of the program, or if she has to do it all over again.
It will all depend on what you want. But actually, once you have validated your first year, you'll be able to join the program directly in the second year, or if you validate 2 years of undergraduate studies, you'll be also able to join us directly on the third year. So it depends on her level, her current level, but if you don't join the program in the first year, you have the opportunity to join us during the second or the third year. But what is not possible is to join us in the middle of an academic year.
Okay. And what is the calendar on UV to apply?
Actually, we have 2 intakes per year. So a student can join us for September intake or for January intake. So it will depend on what you want to do. You'll be able to join us, you'll be able, to apply for the program right now, because applications are already open, and they will be open till May, April.
Okay.
It will depend on the number of available places on the program.
Thanks a lot. Aneska, how did your interview look like? How was it? What were the kind of questions you were asked?
I don't exactly remember all of the questions, but the general essence of it was, why did you want to join the BBA and what are you interested in? As mentioned before, you don't have to know what specialization to take already at the interview, but it would be beneficial to already have a general idea of what you see in your future, even if it changes later. You can just talk to the interviewer about what you're interested in and so on. And my interviewer was very, very friendly, and it was a very casual experience. So very, very friendly. And there's consideration for language. I'm not a native English speaker completely, and my interviewer was Dutch. She asked if she could interview me in Dutch, and I was fine with doing it in English, but that's the sort of, they try very much to have you be comfortable.
Okay. Anuvi, what would be your last advice in order to have a perfect admission process for the future candidates?
I have several advices, actually. Okay. First of all, start early to make sure you can collect all the documents needed on time. Okay, for example, if you want to join us in the for the third year or the second year, you will also have to provide us with an English test. So start early so that you have enough time to prepare your English test and provide us with it. Second advice is just Aneska has said it before. It's a casual interview, so just make sure that you've prepared your study project to know exactly why did you choose. Do you want to go to study in France? Why are you choosing SKEMA BBA? And make sure to answer this question before the interview, and it will be okay. And also make sure to have a good grades from now on your transcript.
Thanks a lot, Agnevi, for all this information about the admission process. If you have more information, don't hesitate to ask them on the chat section. The different teams of SKEMA Business School are answering all of your questions during this live and after this live. Let's talk now about the student life. Aneska, how is it like to be student at SKEMA?
It was very, very interesting because it's the first time in my life, for most of my life I've been in South Africa, so it's the first time I've interacted with people outside of the people from my country. So there's people from many different nationalities, which was a very interesting experience to meet all of them, and everybody is very, very friendly. I have not met a rude SKEMA student, so it's very interesting, and there's a lot of extracurricular activities that you are encouraged to join. Yeah.
What kind of activities, for instance?
Well, there's an extreme sports extracurricular group where you go, I don't know, jump out of planes and go skiing and stuff like that.
You did that?
No.
Okay.
But it's very interesting.
Because that's the first thing you're talking about. I was like, okay, maybe
because it's very strange to me.
Okay.
But yeah, people do that for fun. And then you have hiking groups where you go hiking in the Esterel or wherever, and you have, I think there's a drama group. There's also a group specifically for extra charity projects, which, stuff like that.
And did you have some fears before arriving in France? You said it was your first time out of your comfort zone. Did you have some apprehensions?
Yes, it's like when you're in South Africa, the world is this small, and so when I came here for the first time, it was all very, very unfamiliar and very big. But after a while, you get used to, especially in the south of France, everything is very accessible and very easy. So I was worried about that, and then the language barrier, because I don't speak French. I thought it was going to be difficult for me to adapt to life in the south of France, but it wasn't really that difficult. And yes, and then also how the students would treat me, but also again that was for nothing. It was all very, very easy.
That's cool. Zeynep, same question for you. Did you have some fears maybe before joining SKEMA, and how did it go finally?
Yes, I had so many fears. The biggest one was to be outcasted, not to feel welcomed and at ease in a new country, even though I speak the language and I knew some people here already. But honestly, 2 weeks maybe after I came in France, everything went really well. I already met many new people, nice people. Like she said, I've never met a rude student in SKEMA. Also, obviously, the fear of failing. It was my first year outside of my comfort zone also, in a new country as a university student, so I was really scared of failing. But thankfully, I had many friends and teachers who helped me to go through that phase, that helped me to study, and I succeeded in my studies in SKEMA.
Jan, one of the key points where you're an international student is to feel welcome, but to feel help, because there is a lot of different administrative procedures. There is a lot of stuff to do regarding, for instance, accommodation. How do you help your international students?
This goes through our international office. Okay, so the international office is taking care of all newcomers from outside France, let's say, for all visas. a carte de séjour, all the administrative papers, and also in terms of accommodation. So we have accommodation on campus, but of course the number of flats are limited. And then we have we are giving them a lot of addresses and book about where to live close to campus. Of course, but we have a dedicated office which is here to help students joining SKEMA, but also is helping students taking the international mobility abroad.
How do you feel now? Do you feel like part of the SKEMA world and the SKEMA spirit? Do you think there is a SKEMA spirit?
Yes, I think there's a SKEMA spirit, and it's very. I think it will be different for each campus because on the campus that I'm from, the Sofia campus, the atmosphere on the campus and the spirit of the campus is very much in line with the feeling of like the Riviera. It's all very relaxed, and I feel like I can. It's my home now, so it's very nice.
That's really cool. Let's talk also about international part. Is it possible, Jan, to study abroad during the BBA?
It's more than possible. It's mandatory.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, students have to move out of their campus where they are joining SKEMA for minimum 1 year and maximum 2. Okay. So 3 different and main options for mobility. The first one is moving through the network of SKEMA campuses. Okay, we already spoke about that. Very easy for students. We can guarantee the destination, and also there is no limit in terms of number of students who wants to go there instead of another location. Then you have the exchange program that everyone is using, of course, with a wide range of more than 100 partner universities, of course, there. The difference is that you can only send a limited number of students per semester, okay? And the last one, which is also part of the DNA of the program, or all the double degree track with partner universities, because you told me, and I answered at the beginning, the structure of the program is international, okay, so it's well comprehensive for everyone. So we have students every year deciding after the second year of study to transfer into a partner university, Canada, US, UK, and Australia, to end the studies there, and then to get graduated from this university, and after that from SKEMA Business School.
I don't know if Anuvi is still there with us. Anuvi, yes, you're still here. Hi again, Anuvi, because we have a chat question really dedicated to you. It's from Yannick. He's asking you if there is an age limit to apply, because he's 29 years old, but he would like to study at the Global BBA. Is it possible for him?
It's not impossible. But we will see, maybe there is another program that is more adapted to his profile. So what we do is we have an interview with all the applicants to make sure that the program very fits their expectations and their needs in terms of career goals and training. So it's not impossible.
Yeah, you want to add something about it?
No, I was just going to confirm and just to say that for the BBA program, there is no maximum age to apply. Now, as Anuvi said, depending on the candidates, it depends whether maybe another program will be more suitable. When you're 29 years old and you have to sit in classroom with, let's say, children or new student, young student, sometimes could be difficult. But we had in the past people, I remember one student who was more than 40 years old, and it was really, but it's not, the standard, but it's not impossible, as she said.
Aneska, let's thanks a lot. Aneska, let's move back to the international part. Did you already have the opportunity to study abroad?
As I'm currently in my 3rd year. The 3rd year is generally the year you go on exchange. It is possible to take it for the 4th year, but the 3rd year is the year that you're expected to go on exchange. So I am currently on exchange in Italy.
Okay.
Of course, during COVID, everything can now be online.
Yeah.
So
because we're not in Italy, you can confirm it.
Yes.
I was just asking myself.
No, because of the COVID situation, I decided it would be better for me to do my my exchange year online. Hopefully, next year everything will be back to normal again. But I'm doing my exchange year in a university in Rome, in Italy. So yes.
And I think it's interesting to see the differences between the way Italian teach and the way they learn and the way French people learn. What kind of differences did you see?
Well, first of all, at SKEMA, this is one that struck me very interesting because at SKEMA, the general length for a course, for like a class session, is about an hour and a half, which it's for me, but it's okay. But in Italy, it's generally 45 minutes long. But of course, then you have more classes during the week. That was the first thing that was very interesting. And then also, I think the Italian university, it's a bit more focused on theory, and also depending on what courses you take. But most of the courses are mostly theory. At SKEMA, it's a bit more practice. But yeah, that was the two main differences.
Zeynep, did you also have the opportunity to study abroad?
Yes, during my third year, I went to Suzhou, the SKEMA campus in Suzhou in China for 1 year, and honestly, it was the best year of my life.
Why?
First of all, because I met so many great people, great teachers, new culture that was completely different from what I've ever known. Great food, great places that I visited. The courses was so interesting that I had such good grades. It was so easy to study since everything was so interesting to study there. All the people that I've met there are so nice, so welcoming. It was honestly the greatest experience that I've ever had.
And did it give you how to say that? Do you want now to work abroad and to work internationally thanks to this experience?
Yes, with no doubt. This experience helped me so much to have another perspective of the professional life outside of France, outside of my hometown. I've met people, not only Chinese people, but people from other countries that worked in China and went to other countries. So I had the opportunity to exchange information and knowledge from people with diversity, and they helped me to understand how it is to work in a different country. Even though they do not speak the language, they could find a job, they could study or work there.
Let's move now to the last section of this live, the link between the global BBA and the professional world. Jan, the first link is, I think, the internships. Is it possible? I think the answer is yes, but I will ask a question. But is it possible to do internships during the global BBA?
Again, I will answer. It is required, I will say. Okay. So we are requesting students to do minimum 6 months of professional experience before graduation. Up to 12, which corresponds to the time that students may have in between academic years, considering also mobility. So they are, it's up to them to organize as they want. What we have seen in the let's say last year alumni is that students were taking an average a little bit more than 10 months of professional experience before graduation. So they understood that it's very important for them before joining the job market.
And what kind of internship can they do, for instance? What kind of
it depends.
Jobs?
Yes. So it depends on the year of studies, of course. At the end of the first year, if the qualification is not really high, so any, I will say, student's job for the first time is enough, I will say. But then, after the second year or the third year, of course, they are more skilled, and so they can attend more internships in line with their specialization. And of course, this internship can be done everywhere, not only in France, and we are trying to have these students to take out of COVID situation, of course, experiences abroad from outside the country.
Anuvi, we have another question for you from Guy Yakar. He's asking, he wants to have help on the different admission process. So there is a Campus France space in Kuwait. I think he's in Kuwait. But you can also help the student when they're a little bit lost with all the different administrative procedures to apply?
Exactly. So application is done online in our website. So he will have to connect to our website, click on the link. There is the application space will pop up, and he will have to follow the instruction, and he will be basically okay. If he's facing some issues, or if you want to go deeper, have more information about the program, he can also contact us, send us an email to international.admissions@skema.edu, and we will reply to him. We can also set up some meetings so we can go further and follow up with him.
Thanks a lot, Anuvi. Aneska, did you already have the opportunity to do an internships, or maybe many internships?
Well, since I'm in environmental management track, generally we're encouraged to do our internship the last 2 years of our bachelor. So I have an internship planned. I have not yet been able to do an internship, but I have an internship planned for this summer, which is basically a management, but like practicing management in a guest house. Again, it's not really anything to do with my degree, but I thought it would be a very interesting thing for me to do. And then in my 4th year, I'm going to try to do an internship more related towards more in line with my bachelor.
You help them to find internships. Do you have like partner companies or stuff like that?
Yes. We business school is generally in contact with many companies, and we have a dedicated office also, which is getting all these requests for internships, for jobs, and then is sharing on a website for all SKEMA community about that. Just keep in mind that we have right now about 9,000 students across all campuses, and we are having every year a little bit more than 11 or 12,000 internship and job proposals. So more proposals than we have students there. Okay.
Yeah.
Just the last thing is that it's not only helping students by giving them offers. Okay, it's also helping them when they have difficulty in making them to know how to write a CV, a motivation letter, also, or to practice also mock interviews. Really, just to be sure to have the correct, I would say, attitude during the interviews when you apply for an internship.
Zeynep, can you describe the different internships you had the opportunity to have?
Yes, so in total, I had 3 internships during my studies. The first one was during my first year. It was in the Chamber of Commerce and Industry in France. It was not really related to my major, but it was interesting to have an idea of what it's like to work in an office, in a different environment in school. My second internship was during my 3rd year. It was in my hometown in Tunisia. It was in the startup incubator. That was a really good internship. I had the opportunity to understand, to learn many different things. And my last internship was last year. It was in a small company that did cosmetic products that were vegan, organic, zero waste. And that last internship was maybe more interesting in the sense that it was longer, so I had more time to understand and to practice what I've learned during my 4 years of studies. And that was all the internships that I've had. But like Mr. Gracieli said, SKEMA really helped us not only in finding internships, but I remember in China we also had sessions so they could take professional photos of us so we could use them in our resume or in our CV. And last year, in my fourth and last year of SKEMA, we had a course that helped us to prepare our CVs, to prepare interviews. The professional that came and helped us gave us some tips how it was to have a real interview in the professional world.
Okay. If you still have questions, you can keep on asking them on the chat section. We will answer them during the live. Jan, is it possible to work directly after the BBA?
Yes, it is because that's the North American spirit, I will say. So after the bachelor program, you go onto the job market, and maybe after 2, 3, or 5 years of professional activity, then students can decide to go up to a Master of Science level. Okay. Now, with COVID, it's again a little bit more complicated, I will say. And what we have noticed from alumni of last year is that most of them, quite 50%, are moving on with a master program because they are just waiting that the crisis just goes to the end. But in practice, let's say in normal years, we have 40% of students going on with further studies and around 60% joining directly the job market.
And what kind of jobs is it possible to have directly after the BBA?
Yes, well, it depends on the specialization, let's say, but if we take some students who learn management, for example, it's middle management position in companies, so really working as a product manager, for example, or accounting office also, making some audits, it depends. Some students are also creating their own business, and we have a very good incubator at SKEMA which help students this way. If you have more scientific approach, some students are going up to a PhD. It depends.
And what are the salaries for the students joining directly the professional world after the global
This
BBA?
question is tricky. This question is really tricky. No, it's tricky. You know why? Because we have alumni working in many countries, and depending on the country, on the level of a country, the salary of the annual salary is probably not a good, I will say, exactly. But over the 2 last years, the average was above the average. So it's an average value. Okay, so take it as it is. It was a little bit more than 40,000 euros per year as the initial salary. So it's not bad.
Yeah, but that's an indicator. But yeah, I think it depends. It's not the same in America than in France. Zeynep, for you, how was it? What are you doing right now?
So right now I'm taking online courses linked to my major with the partners of the UN, and I'm also preparing my admission for a master's degree in different countries. I'm aiming Northern Europe countries such as Finland, Denmark, but also Asian countries, China, South Korea. So I'm just learning and waiting for the admission to open up.
And what would you like to do after all of that?
Good question. Well, now I just want to finish my studies, have some work experience, and later on I'll think about it once I finish all my studies.
Aneska, you're in third year. You still have 1 year before graduated. What do you want to do after? Try to work directly or continue with a master degree?
Well, that again depends on where I am when I'm done with my 4th year. But currently the plan is I want to do my master directly after, maybe like with an internship in between, if I can find one. And then, so yeah, I would like to do my master.
And what would be your dream job after all your studies?
I have no idea. It's like
you have no dream?
I have a dream, but like.
So what is this dream?
I would like to incorporate law and. It's like I'm in environmental management, so in my current year, I joined a law school in Rome, where we're introduced to the EU's attempts to encourage innovation, especially in regards to the Horizon 2020 program. And that has been a very interesting thing for me to experience. So I would like to be involved in those sort of projects where people implement legislature and so on into the EU to try and to get the atmosphere here more friendly to environmental management projects. I am currently eyeing for the master's degree, a degree in agriculture and forestry, stuff like that.
So that would be the idea. That's a dream.
Yes,
so
yes.
You have a dream. Jan, to conclude this live session, what do you want to say to your future student watching us today?
If you join us,
Yeah.
be open-minded. That's the point. And be curious, try everything you want during your studies, because that's the time of your life where you can make mistakes until you're not in the professional world. So we have sometimes, a weird idea can lead to Nobel Prize. So, but it's true. So they have 4 years, to learn, to practice, and to test some. We have every year, for example, we have many students going with a project to the incubator, saying, that's my idea. And then the professional said, okay, you can forget about it because it's already done, or, wow, it's very interesting, let's work on it. So until you have not been formatted by the system, your mind is really free, and this is really what we want as our students to be to test everything and to have a 360 degrees view of the world.
Thanks a lot, Jan, Aneska,
Thank you.
Anyuvi, and Zeynep for your time. Oh, you're all here. Hi. Thanks a lot for being with us today, and thanks to you for having watched this live. If you still have questions, you can keep on asking them on the chat section, and you can go on the website of SKEMA Business School. See you soon on Campus France.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.